I just want to do a little discussion right now that has to do with Martin Buber's I and Thou. Now I'm not gonna have a big analysis like Dr. J. Campbell does, but he has like a full playlist full of, it's a full series of, it's a series of videos, but it's one big analysis of Martin Buber's I and Thou. So I'm not going to do that, but I suggest that you go to his channel, Dr. Jason J. Campbell, and he has a lot of great stuff there. But yeah, go to his playlist and you'll find Martin Buber, I and Thou there. But I just want to I want to discuss a little bit about what the I Thou is and what the I It is, and then I want to discuss a little bit about meaning in the world, because I don't know, I'm thinking about like this kind of circle of meaning that I'm going to talk about in a different video, which kind of is like a little video which is going to sum the whole thing up. But it's just like how we have a certain kind of reality, we think about the world, and we have a certain kind of reality in our relations with things, and then we find that there's no meaning there, and then we'll eventually try and find one of the only two possible sources of meaning in the world: people or God. If you don't believe in God, then it's just people. That's it. That's the only place that you're going to find that. So I want to discuss that a little bit, and then discuss meaning, meaning in the world from that. It's a relatively short book, so I recommend that you read that. It's a very good book too, I would say. First of all, we have two relations in the world of two interpersonal relations. We have the I Thou and we have the I It. The I It is a relation between me and somebody or something in the world, but I'm not looking at, it's also I he or I she, but I'm looking at this world as a world full of beings that are knowable, and it's not it's basically me looking at it as that, and it's a world full of things that can be known, and I'm not looking at the things that I'm in a certain relation with as a subject as I am. So a I-it relation is a subject to object relation, but that's most because in the way that the I deals with this relation is because in the way that the I deals with this relation, that is how the anything that this person comes into relationship with is still an it. And then we have the I-thou relation. And an I-thou relation is a subject relation, where we are having a shared reality, a unity of being in our interpersonal dialogue and relation. We have a shared reality. We are basically looking at the whole of our beings through this one big relation. And Buber talks a good bit about love in there, and what that has to do with the I Thou. And first we have the I Thou, where I'm talking, it's a interpersonal dialogue, but I'm in conversation with you, and basically I'm seeing you as a subject, and so are you, and as me, and it's we have a shared reality, a unity of being. I'm seeing into your being, and you mine, so it's a unity of being in this one relation. So it is, in a way, it's attachment of a sort, But a I-it relation is the subject's detachment from everything that it is related to in this one in this one in this one relation. So I guess I think there's a lot of things there that are important. Now that was just like a little discussion on what Buber says. Like I said, Dr. Campbell has a good bit of a good analysis on that in various videos. So I suggest that you go there for a full analysis. But I want to talk about what Buber has to say. What Buber has to say is very good. It's very interesting, and in fact, it makes me think about meaning a lot. Because, in my opinion, if you look at the world and you have dialogue with beings of the world and look at the world as this world of noble beings, you're having a detached relation with the beings of the world. Is what you're really doing. That's really all that's really going on there. It's a it's a detached relation, but what's important about that is that I think that that's how most people go through life. And I would go as far as to say that people that subjects who engage beings with the I-it relation, I would go as far as to say that I would say that the I having looking at the world like this, and I would go as far as to say that that they are looking at these beings as means to their own ends, if not something less or more than that. But it's basically a detached relation, and in my opinion, if we try and look after things that we all try and go after, we try and go after ideas of utility and all this stuff that's basically for somebody's gain or my gain or whatever. But I think just like de Beauvoir says and Camus says, and these existentialists just like Buber, we have I'm trying to articulate what I'm trying to say here. What happens when people look at this? When people have dialogue with the world within the I-it relation, they have this kind of mindset that after doing this for so long and going after certain things and holding on to certain absolutes and such, they kind of are led to the idea that this place is ambiguous. There are no absolutes here. It's absurd, and all the things that I'm trying to do don't work for me, and my beliefs get shattered. My beliefs that I've held as true, indubitably true, fall. And I think that once this kind of realization happens, you are left with no real meaning here except for two possible meanings. If you do believe in a God, one of those meanings would have to do with the spiritual world, and God. That's one way. And also if you do believe in meaning in God, then you're going to be led to this next one. But if you're an atheist, then you're just gonna all you're gonna have is this next one. It's people. And in the I thou relation, you have a shared reality with this person, and essentially the meaning is within this very relation. because meaning is people. And this kind of ties into what I just when I kind of just started reading, which I had never read before, is being a singular plural. And this book at the very beginning essay is called "On Being Singular Plural," where he talks about how we are meaning. Humans, we are meaning. We don't have meaning, but we are meaning. We search for meaning, but we are meaning. And he talks about communication in this, as well as in the inoperative community. But I guess my real point here is that I think that you see that with Buber, you see that with the I-thou relation, you get at each other's being, for one thing. That's where you're going to find real meaning. Not only because people are meaning, but you're going to find being there, and thus you're going to find meaning in being. So I guess that's my real point. My point is that people essentially are the meaning. They don't, that's essentially what the real point is. In this very dialogue of I-thou shows that. And I think that once we come to realize that there's no meaning except for people and possibly God in this world, then I think that that the I-thou relation would then be the next route. After looking at the world in this detached view of everything. Now I could go on and talk about this and even attach deconstruction to this too, but that's getting away from my point. So yeah, thank you. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think of this. Let me know what you think about Buber, and about these relations and what you think meaning is.